The first Q&A session here. We have Brendan Coyle, Phyllis Logan, Brian Percival, Director, Liz Trubridge, Producer, Dan Stevens and Laura Carmichael. We'll open questions up, but if you can please introduce yourself and which publication you're from. So, raise your hands. There we go.
Hi there, I'm Alison Jones, I'm freelance. I wanted to ask a question about what happened to Edith. Edith's storyline.
Which one?
The fact that she was left hanging with the guy and...
With a possible Patrick character?
Yes.
The mystery.
Maybe it's something to be explored in the next series.
Well, yes, I mean, I had to ask you, but I loved that storyline. I was so excited to read that the sort of Patrick element was going to be revisited. Because for me, it sort of defined where she started, and that rivalry between Mary and Edith came from that. So I was thrilled. It was a great sort of mystery to it. You don't know if it was him or if it wasn't. It was an imposter. But I think no matter what, you see the heartbreak and the... I was sort of like the idea that he knew as well that Edith loved him. Even if it wasn't him and it was Peter Gordon character, Patrick must have mentioned that Edith had feelings. He must have known, which I think is still very moving. But yes, who knows if it would be revisited. Thank you.
Hi, Daryl Smith from the Sunday Post newspaper in Scotland. Dan, we've been asked to sign an embargo today to keep the secret, which I'm sure we all will. But I mean, how do you keep the secret? Because I'm sure you get asked all the time, are you and Mary going to get together?
Yes. I generally threaten people, say I could tell you, but then I'd have to eat you, kill you, and all the rest of it. No, it is quite easy. I mean, it's fun, and it's part of the fun of the show. So as far as I'm concerned, our storyline, you know, that will they, won't they element, is one of the enjoyable things about being part of Downton. Is the game that you play outside of it, and trying to keep the scripts with my wife is the biggest challenge.
Anyone else? Any other questions?
Hello. Hi, Catherine from Daily Express. How do you feel as a cast being the highlight of ITV's Christmas Day schedules? Is it a huge honour for you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Because Christmas television has become such a part of Christmas culture, British television, British Christmas. So to be a part of that is really gratifying. It's significant. It's indicative of the success of the show. I think it seems what people want. I think we deliver. We're very proud of this episode. I think collectively we're starting to feel it's our best. And so we're very happy with it. Yeah, very happy about it.
I agree.
Hello, Patrick Brenners from the press in the Netherlands. Hello. The series is doing really well in the Netherlands as well. Are you guys aware of the international appeal of the series? Have you had sort of reactions from abroad a lot?
Yes. Shall I answer this? Yeah. Mainly via Twitter. I'm amazed by just constant, you know, there's not a week that goes past and it's somebody in Ulaanbaatar or some Rio de Janeiro or whatever, and they suddenly say, oh, Downton started this week, and you completely forget that it's staggered across the world. And I think the second series started going out in Italy on Sunday, is that right? Anyway, Italy started this week. A few tweets from the Netherlands very recently. I think it just started second season there, didn't it, or something? So it's amazing, and just the happy, friendly vibes from all over the planet about our show is terrific.
You know why? It works for them internationally as well.
I've asked a Spanish journalist that question, actually. I said, why is it so huge in Spain? And she said, beautiful people, lovely costumes, gossip, love. Why not? So that's the best answer I can give you. I think good storylines, actually. I think good storylines are universal.
Thank you.
Hello, Emma Cox, freelance. Can I ask each of the actors, presuming that you're coming back for the next series, what you think may happen to your character or what you would hope for your character?
I'm hoping for a spin-off of Mr. Bates Investigates. Bottom of what happens. I don't know. I mean, we're all optioned to do 3 series. We're very happy that the option's been taken up. I just know that it'll be very different from series 2, which is very different from series 1. With Julian, we know we'll get something fresh. It won't be dull. But we have no indication of what's going to happen. We just hope it's not going to be more of the same. It's going to be that thing that Julian does, something very fresh, very interesting and exciting.
Well, as for Mrs. Hughes, I keep finding things out about it. I think, oh, I wouldn't have expected that of Mrs. Hughes, but then, you know, he always comes up to trumps Julian with something which I can identify with. So there may be yet more skeletons and cupboards, or not skeletons and cupboards, but, you know, aspects to her character which lead her in a certain path. Who knows? I can't wait to find out. They won't tell us.
We're the last to know.
We will be.
I think Matthew and Mary could reprise their musical duo. Get into jazz and tour Paris or Berlin. I'm not fussed. That might be an interesting direction.
Yeah, I don't know. 3 more heartache. Possibility of finding that, I don't know. Maybe you were talking about bridesmaids and trans. Yes, no doubt. Always the bridesmaid. Yes, so maybe I'll take up flying now that I can fly.
Next question.
Oh, hi, it's Peter Dyke from the Daily Star here. I've got 2 questions for Brendan. First of all, Brendan, can you sympathise with viewers' frustration that because it's on ITV, we get about a few minutes of action before it goes to an ad break, which is sort of like annoying a lot of fans?
It pays for, it's the nature of the beast. I mean, we rely on revenue to pay for the programme. So that's just simply the nature of it.
And also, to avoid spoilers, did you
Film an alternative ending where you're hanging from a rope?
That would be spoiling that to tell you.
Next question, please. Yes.
Right. Hi, Nancy Tartaglione from Deadline.com. I'm wondering, just with regard to the Christmas episode, obviously you guys have a huge following in the States, and the cat's going to be out of the bag in a couple of days. So how is the episode actually rolling out internationally? Do you know that?
It depends on the countries, but I think certainly in the States, this episode is just going to follow on the whole series, so it will become their episode 7, I believe.
Okay. And then just one other question. You said you're all optioned through 3 series, and what happens at that point? Are there plans to continue? Is there an inkling? Would everybody continue? I'm sure that you're all getting a lot more offers now, and you know.
I think that's one for, I mean, the recommission doesn't really happen until after we've done, it happens at the end of each series, so it's just further down the line, and if there's still a will to make it and there's still an appetite for it, I'm sure people are going to be very happy to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, next question at the back there.
Therese Coffey from the House magazine. So I'm sure that politicians will be delighted the Home Secretary was able to avert the death sentence to life imprisonment. But serious question, with what's you're kind of on the other side, you've got BBC One Strictly Come Dancing. How many of you had to take dancing lessons in order to do the servants' ball?
All of us.
Yes.
And they were rubbish.
Bates is a good movie. There's an alternative ending that might see.
Well, you noticed you never saw any feet during that whole section.
Yeah.
That was dreadful. But we sweated up a storm, didn't we, that day?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a very small, hot room, and it was hilarious.
It was the summer, it was July.
And we were all learning how to walk, which is very hard. But I don't think anyone was as nervous as Rob. He had asked Maggie for a dance, but he did it beautifully.
He did. But I don't think we'll be vying for a place in Strictly.
Okay, next question.
Simon Boyle from the Daily Mirror. I just wondered, with the characters referring to how times are changing and the next series is set a few years later again, could there be an opportunity for some of the scenes, particularly with, say, Matthew and Mary, to be more salacious than we've seen in the past?
I think there is going to be a massive jump in the next series. We pick up pretty hard on the heels of this. Well, I don't know whether it's next week or next month, but it's not going to be a 2-year leap again, so they haven't got that raunchy, I imagine. But I only imagine, I mean, I don't know.
I think it's quite, it's sort of not Julian's style to get too salacious. You can be, you know, who knows, it will certainly move on. We have plans that the next series is, each series should be distinctive, and this is moving into the 20s, so.
And there are specialist channels for what you might be doing.
Next question. Who's next?
Jasper Rees Telegraph. This is a question for all of the cast. There's a kind of element of sadism in the Julian Fellowes' script writing. He delays pleasure for all of you, and you all have to kind of keep it buttoned down the whole time. Is there a frustration in always having to kind of repress and play? You can't kind of do big emotions very much in this in your various performances.
I think I find that quite satisfying to play. I think it's more interesting. I think, as nice as, you know, the idea of, say, Edith being very happy, it's far more interesting to play those moments as there are in life, you know, when you don't get what you want. And the sort of added element of the period and how you have to play maybe a different to how we would today, and keeping a lid on it. Again, it's a challenge, and I think brings something extra to the stories. It's not all running around screaming and smiling or crying. It's subtler than that, which is a challenge, but I enjoy it.
I think many people get to play big emotions really in life, actually, particularly in this country. And I think, you know, the kind of get out or leave his family sort of school of acting is very, that's actually our modern melodrama in a way. That's far less naturalistic and, you know, and everything than what we're engaged in. And actually there are moments of quite high emotion. I think the structure of how we shoot the show, sort of leading on from your question, it serves that quite well. However, we see 2 scripts at a time. So when we started the series, we hadn't seen episode 3, let alone episode 8. So in terms of where your storyline is going, you have to, as an actor, keep the arc in such a place that, you know, you're not committed to, well, Matthew clearly hates Mary and this is never going to work, or the opposite. So actually, the ball is kept in the air for us, and we have to play with that.
I mean, I feel, you know, a bit like what you've already said, Laura, it's almost strangely liberating to have those constraints on you, where, like you say, you don't go about screaming, balling the odds, and, you know, gesticulating like an Egypt all over the place. They're all cut, like, almost Saints Brian, tempered me in that department. No, but it's great to know that you can. It's quite, as you say, challenging as well to feel that you've got to get a certain emotion across, but in sort of in a more subtle way than giving it full welly. And as I say, that's quite liberating, knowing that you have those constraints.
Yeah, there's a different time. I mean, the way people express themselves and communicate now, we're all encouraged to say what we think and what we feel to express ourselves. And people not so much then, especially amongst the lower classes. And I think that restraint is something that is part of the appeal of the show, the way people communicate. But that doesn't necessarily mean you don't convey high emotions, which I think we've seen in the Christmas special. Everybody's conveying. The stakes are very, very high for almost all the characters. It's an interesting, social mores at the time, a stoicism, restraint. I think that's part of the appeal of the show.
I thought it's also more interesting for an audience.
allows them to work a little bit hard. You know, not everything's there. It invites you to think a little bit more about the characters and the stories, what they're about, and I think that is part of its appeal, because it allows us to sit there as a viewer and sort of form our own opinions. You know, it's not all given to us, and so in that way, hopefully the audience feels more involved.
Next question.
Hi, Tim Oglethorpe, freelance. Two quick questions. One is, how competitive are you? How important is it to you to beat EastEnders in the ratings on Christmas Day?
Can I just say, it's not at all really. We just set out to make the best show we can, and something that we're all proud of. And, you know, I started off right at the very beginning with Downton, the very first episode with Liz, and we just, you know, we didn't anticipate any success that it would have. We just wanted to make something that we were proud of, and that we all felt involved in, and that we all sort of worked together as a team to achieve that goal. We're not setting out to beat anybody, and I think if you make television to do that, then I think it's a kiss of death. It's a kiss of death. Okay,
As a viewer, if you want to watch just one or the other or both, you will, regardless of how they're scheduled.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And the other question is slightly more fanciful. There's several seance scenes, and there's not seance scenes, Ouija board scenes, I mean. Did anything strange happen while you were filming those? Because there have been TV dramas made in the past where the introduction of a Ouija board has led to strange occurrences.
No, sadly.
I wasn't involved in those.
Okay, last question.
From The Sun. Dan, I wanted to ask how you're coping with all the female attention you must be getting, because you're a bit of a heartthrob, and how's your wife taking it?
Well, the female attention I have to struggle hardest with is my 2-year-old daughter. She's just entered the terrible twos, so that's my biggest challenge at the moment.
Oh, I don't believe you. I bet you're getting loads of fan mail.
Not really.
About your address.
Okay, this is the last question.
Hi, I'm Sarah Nathan from the Daily Mail. Another one for Dan. How do you think, with the engagement and the fact that all the viewers are going to be so happy at the end of the special, how do you think you can take Matthew and Mary relationship and keep it fresh? The tension's all gone.
Well, I suppose that responsibility really lies with Julian. Of course, we don't see them actually married. There's got to be a wedding. They've got to get to the altar. Who knows? You know, we see them getting engaged, and that's resolution enough for this episode.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. In the next session, we've got Rob, Siobhan, Sophie, and Leslie. Okay, hi everyone. This is Sophie McShearer, Leslie Nichol, Rob James Collier, and Siobhan Finneran. Again, saying you can introduce yourself and which publication you're from. Who's got the first question? Emma?
Hello, Emma Cox, freelance. I asked the other guys the same question, but when you come back to the third series, can I ask what you will think may happen to your characters, what you might hope for them?
Start with Sophie.
My basic hope for Daisy is a new dress.
Liz?
Not really. That's about it. That's all I'm looking for so far.
I want to blow. I think it would be nice to see you in love. That's fine.
Rob?
Whatever comes along, you know, to see what happens. A valet would be nice, because he's been banging on about it for 2 series, so it'd be nice to be a valet. We'll see.
Mine's similar to Sophie's really. I'm quite hoping she discovers false eyelashes and a bit of red lipping. And new hairdo, new frock.
New outlook on life.
New outlook on life, yeah. I want a broomstick to fly above the turrets of Downton.
Next question. Anyone? Just down Tim.
Hi, Daryl Smith from the Sunday Post in Scotland. Rob, they did let spill the beans in the last press conference that you were quite nervous about approaching Dame Abbey Smith for a dance.
Well, wouldn't you be?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. How was it having a national treasure in your hands?
Well, as everyone knows on the day, I was really nervous about it. And that coupled with the fact that I can't actually dance, unless it's break dancing, meant it was. But thankfully, we've got a great director in Brian Percival who lays your fears, and you just got to jump in there. And Maggie was, she was cool. She had a laugh. I stood on her toe. I got the death ray glare. But yeah, I got through it. But it was extremely nerve-wracking. You what? Sorry.
Was she at the break dancing?
I don't think she was.
Yeah, she can.
I pitched the lift from Dirty Dancing, where she jumped. She wasn't having it. I don't think she was given the upper body strength. Glad I came.
Next question.
Listen, what you doing?
Who's next?
Sarah.
Sorry. Sarah, we've got.
Sarah, do you want to go?
Sarah.
Cool, yeah. Rob, I also wanted to know whether your morals sort of, it pulled at your heart looking that poor dog into the shed, or if you did
See,
that.
I've been getting loads of, last night, we watched it last night, and I got a load of stick for what I did to the dog, but my response is, a shed is bigger than a kennel. So I put him in a very spacious environment. I think there was straw in there. And I didn't kick him through the door. He went in of his own free will. I say, here you go.
Left him alone in a shed on his own overnight.
He's all right.
Leslie has dogs, by the way.
It's not all right.
But I think it's just it's what you do in desperation. The guy's lost everything on the black market. He's got nowhere to go. He's trying to get where he wants to go, and you do silly things. I just think he's misunderstood.
Yeah.
Are you happy to have a bit more of evilness back into your character?
Whatever comes, I'm just happy to be working. That's you know what I mean. So if there's whatever, I'll I don't think of it like that. I just wait till I get the script and then see what's there and then work with that. Because if you start thinking this is what I want and I'd be happy doing it, you just gotta get disappointed. So yeah. I do think he should open a jazz bar though.
Yeah.
But that's another story.
Hi, Tom Kearns, The People. This is a question for everyone. As wonderful as it is to see original British drama on television, do you think that there's maybe too much prevalence on quintessentially British things? We've seen success with films like The Queen and The King's Speech and things like that. Do you think it's pigeonholing British drama too much maybe in the modern era?
My answer to that is we make the drama for the audiences, and the audiences speak about what it is they're liking. They really enjoy that. So no, I don't think. But I just think there should be, and there is on all terrestrial channels here. There's a huge range of dramas, and not for me, not really.
Next question at the back. Yeah.
I'm Francine Anker from Daily Star Sunday. This is one for all the cast really, and kind of touched on costumes a little bit before with Sophie. What are the sort of ups and downs of wearing such amazing sort of period drama costumes? What are the things you like? What are the things that you don't? Obviously for Sophie not so relevant, but just wonder what your thoughts are on the costumes.
Well, the girls upstairs wear amazing costumes. We're kind of usually neck to floor in black.
Yeah, does it get a little frustrating? But obviously that's the character.
There's a lot of costume envy goes on. There's a lot of costume envy goes on, but
not from me.
Not from
I was
Rob.
going to say, what about the boys?
Well, you did want to wear one of my dresses.
Rob, what about yourself? How do you find the costumes? Is there any plus points to it, or is it all kind of get back in
Well,
the
you're
jeans?
not constantly having to get changed throughout the day, so that's
true.
a bonus.
That's always good, yeah.
They're comfortable. And you get used to wearing a corset, so.
I've read that they almost like a gastric band. Some of the corsets, it's hard to get sort of any air in, so perhaps it's a good thing.
To eat my dinner.
Cool.
Okay.
Microphone coming. Sorry, mate. Thanks, Tim. Obviously, viewers are going to regard this as a huge Christmas treat on Christmas night, and it's going to get very big ratings. Is there scope for another Christmas special next year, or do you think this is very much a one-off idea?
We are doing an episode to go out at Christmas. I wouldn't necessarily say it will be set at Christmas next year, but it will go out.
Oh yes.
Hi, Julie from Digital Spy.
Hi, I'm Rachel Cork from Freelance. Rob, this is for you. Having been in a soap, do you find that you get a different kind of fan base now? Do you get recognised for being in a soap or for Downton now?
It's not a different fan base because Downton spreads like Brian's just said. It's got something for everyone, so it spreads right across. That's what it's, I think, done differently. It spreads right across the whole audience board. So people who watch soaps will watch it, but people who watch, you know, gritty drama will watch it. It's got that crossover. So yeah, I don't know. I don't pay attention to what I get recognised for. I just, you know what I mean? I just act. I don't put it on a tally show, a tally chart at home or anything like that. So no, if you start paying attention to that, you just go insane. So yeah, it's a terrible answer to a terrible question.
Next question. Hi, I'm Katie from The Lady. Obviously, with the roaring success of Downton and series is to come, do you think we could ever get to the point where we've got Downton in, say, you know, the 50s or the 60s, or, you know, getting nearer to modern times?
Yeah, none of us like being it though, would we?
Well, we'd
all be dead.
I mean, we've got obviously the next generation as well coming now, so first grandchild. Do you think it could move on that far?
I think it'd be crazy if it did, but I'm just.
I can't see it myself, to be honest. No, I think it would just become something else.
But I would love to see Carson in the midst of Beatlemania. That would be a nice storyline.
Next question.
Richard Barber from the Daily Mail. You're all getting to know your individual characters very well. Would any of you ever say to Julian Fellows, oh, here's something that could happen to Mrs. Patmore or to O'Brien, or wouldn't you dare?
I did say to him, because my agent said, people keep saying to me, I know I'm banging on about this, but you've asked the question, why isn't Mrs. Patmore have a love interest? And it's a bit insane, because she looks like the back end of a bus, to be fair. And but on the other hand, people say it to me too, and you think, well, actually, that would be an interesting diversion. So I did say to Julian, I know it sounds crackers, but that's what's happening. And he said, never say never.
He's actually pretty open to people's suggestions.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yes. Next question.
Patrick Bremmers, freelance from the Netherlands. The series is very big over there as well. I asked the other cast members as well earlier on. Have you had any reactions from abroad? Because it's doing so well in Spain and all over the world, really.
Yeah, my cousin's kids think I can speak fluent Spanish. So I'm delighted with that, because they sat in Madrid and watched it. And she called me and said, you're going to get a shock at Christmas when they come over, because they're going to expect you to speak. So I'd quite like to see it. I'd quite like to see it dubbed into another language. But,
apparently, my counterpart in this going on the Spanish tip, the guy whoever it is who does the voiceover has got an infinitely sexier and deeper voice than mine.
And mine, the man who does mine.
If I ever go to Spain, they're going to be disappointed. Because the guy's like, see, and I'm like, see. They're not going to be happy. They'll feel shortchanged.
Hi, David Collins from TV Choice. When do you start filming the third series, or have you started already? And how many episodes can we expect?
We start on February the 13th, and it's 8 episodes and a 2-hour one, a separate 2-hour one.
And is it going to be particularly different in any way in its tone?
To be honest, I'm not being deliberately evasive here, but we've just seen the briefest of glimpses of the first draft of the first 2. So although we know some sort of headlines of where it's going, we don't really. It will inevitably move on. So, but I honestly can't tell you where, because we don't know yet.
Last question, Emma. Oh, okay. Last 2. Yeah.
Oh, am I going first? Yeah. Alright, hi, gentlemen. I wanted to ask Robin Chabot, you play pretty horrible characters. You're getting better, I think. But yeah, what's the reaction like from fans?
For me, it's almost pantomime-esque, you know, it's all playful banter. I'll go into a post office and get booed and stuff like that. You know, I'll get a bit of stick from a guy with a load of kids in a coffee shop, but then at the other end of the spectrum he'll pay for my latte or cappuccino or something, so swings and roundabouts. It's all playful banter, you know.
Yeah, usually the reaction is, oh my God, you're not as fat and you're not as ugly. That's my usual reaction. And then the next one is, could she be nastier? Because they really like her being nasty. You know, are you going to be nastier? What are you going to do next? They kind of want to know what she's going to do next. But that's it, really.
I've found going on than that. If you show it, if there's a softer side to the character edges in, people are offended by that. They went, we don't like you being soft. So I get stick for
not
trying
being
for going soft. So yeah.
My question was really similar, actually, sorry, but to all four of you, I was going to ask, where is the weirdest place that you've been recognised for Downton, and what's the oddest request or response you've had from a fan?
So? Well, just last night, at the showing, a very drunk man came up to me and went, "Oh my God, you look 30 or 40 years younger than you really are," which makes me 10. And the weirdest time being recognised, I thought, was in the lift in Covent Garden by two black teenagers, which just felt really strange, you know, but very pleasing actually.
I don't really get recognised that much. I don't really get recognised that much. So I don't have a little story.
Yeah, I had somebody come up to me and say, "Oh, can I just tell you, I need to just say to you, the television does nothing for you."
Sorry.
And I had to do, I know, you shouldn't have done that. So I had to just take that as a compliment. But a gentleman said to me last night, "Oh my God, you look 50 years younger." I said, "That's a miracle." That's actually a miracle. 50 years younger, it's quite stupendous.
And finally, who's your most surprising celebrity fan? Anybody come up to you famous and said that they love Downton?
I've got a good one. My mates just work with Tom Hanks, who watches it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's really good, isn't it? Or it's a lie. But I believed him.
I haven't met her, but Joan Rivers is supposed to be quite keen and watches it on her tour bus.
She tweeted about watching it and we're really excited.
You like it, yeah.
Louis Spence.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, guys.